Hello YouTubians, it's Kurt here. So I thought I would do a Veterans Day post. I like to usually do these posts from my backyard, and looky what I found. Yeah, these little monsters. I've been leaving them out at night because for Colorado it's still very warm. Today, I'm in shorts and a shirt as usual. Here's the husky sleeping. She looks like she could use some cold weather. It's got to be in the 70s. We have yet to have any rain or snow for months. There was frost on the windshields last night, but it's here, let's see the sky. The clouds are no clouds. As usual, you can hear sirens around here. So this post is kind of for veterans and for civilians. I hear a lot of times when people learn that I served in the military, I was in the Navy for 7.5 years, and they're like, oh, thank you for my service. To tell you the truth, it makes me feel a little uncomfortable because I didn't save the country. I saved a few lives of my fellow service members, but I feel like I owe a sense of gratitude to the United States. They paid for my existence for all those years. They gave me great training and a whole lot of fun. They taught me some valuable skills, and I'm very appreciative for that. Hardest part of my life has been being a good civilian. And there was a saying that said, great soldiers make bad civilians, and vice versa. And I completely understand it, and I didn't understand it the first time I heard it. And that's because I was in the military, and I was really good at what I did, and I was respected, and I earned my way up to as high as I could physically go. But in the military, you deal with things very differently, very directly. If you don't like what someone's doing, you're like, hey, Smith, knock it off, you're being an idiot, something like that, And Smith's like, yeah, whatever, and he may say something back, but he stops, and very infrequently do things escalate. I find in the civilian life, things are escalated so much. Drama is everywhere. It's amazing. I don't care who you vote for as the presidency, but I think that the reason Donald Trump got the young votes that he got in the election is because he says things that you hear on the drama shows, the reality TV, and I think a lot of people like that and want that. And I'm not saying he's going to be a good or bad president, nor anything about Hillary Clinton. I am ambiguous about every presidential candidate. When you're spending $1.3 billion to become president, that's huge. That comes out to almost $5 a person. So you could have gone door to door in the United States if you had enough people and resources and said, hey, I'll give you $5 to vote for so-and-so. That's just for one candidate. So you add on the 750,000 for Trump, or 750 million for Trump, and that's quite a bit more. But so to my fellow veterans, first thing is, if you're a phony vet, just don't. And what I mean by phony vet is you are a vet, you did serve, and you did something like you were an AZ, an aviation storekeeper. You took charge of parts and paperwork and ordering. You kept those of us in the squadron with what we needed to do our jobs. Be very proud of that. My father was a yeoman, which is, I hate to call it a secretary, but you're a secretary for very important people. They need papers typed up and stuff and run around. I was a parachute rigger, okay? Like if somebody had captured me during time of war. I would have had nothing to tell them. Okay, it's not top secret. I can show you how to pack these parachutes. I can show you how to work on these ejection systems, these oxygen systems, these life rafts. It's important for what I was doing and the job that I was doing, but it wasn't important as far as national security. Be proud of that. And the reason I say for veterans to not be false veterans, that is, don't go telling people you were a Navy SEAL. The whole 7.5 years that I was in the Navy, I met one ex-Navy SEAL. He was on medical duty because he and his brother, he went home for leave. He and his brother were outside practicing archery. An arrow ricocheted and hit him in his eye, and it took his eye out, man. This guy wearing a pirate patch for the rest of his life, and his career as a Navy SEAL is over. His career in the Navy is probably over, at that point. But I just met him in passing, We talked for like 20 minutes or so, and he's the only Navy SEAL I've ever met. Now, as a civilian, I like to go to the gun shows once a month, see what new toys there are. Oh, there's all these special forces people, all these spec ops. Oh, I'm a shooter, or I'm a looter shooter, blah, blah, blah. I'm a Navy SEAL. I was in Team 128, and it's like, dude, you're so full of it. And I don't even call them out. I don't even call out people who say they're veterans and they never served. That's, to me, making that illegal was stupid because we have the right to say what we want in this country, and that includes lying. Unfortunately, that's the reality of the truth. Look, man, cops can lie to you all the time. The judge can lie to you all the time. The government lies to you all the time. It's only going to cost $78 to register your vehicle, but there's a $35 bridge tax. What? No, but you have to pay it, okay? So for the fake veterans out there, the wannabe spec ops veterans out there, just don't do it. For the real ones, okay, get your glory, whatever. But my guess is you're now a civilian. Spend more time on being a civilian and less time on being what you were. I'm a master parachute rigger. I don't get near enough chances to pack parachutes anymore because civilians don't latch on to that stuff. So I'm proud of it. I still hold the certification, but unfortunately there's no use for it. Same with scuba diving. Master scuba instructor. For some reason people don't want to dive anymore. Oh well, then I stay dry. I go ride my motorcycle. Be proud of what you're doing. Be proud of what you did for your country. And that goes for everybody. You don't have to be Superman or Wonder Woman. Be who you are and be proud of what you do. It doesn't matter what you do. It used to be people would say, well, don't worry about getting your education. You could always be a ditch digger. Well, look, man, country needs ditch diggers, and they probably get paid more than I do. Oh, you can be a trash man. Trash men get paid way more than I do. But it's a hard job. Digging a ditch is a hard job. Be proud of that. Be the best ditch digger you can be. That's it. In school, you don't have to be the type A #1 student, valedictorian. You know what? Get through the classes with a grade that's passable, that you're happy with, and go from there. I found it much more important to learn about what is being taught than it is to take the test. I'm a horrible test taker. So be proud of what you do and learn what you can, and doggone it, try to pass the test. Okay? So I wish all my fellow vets out there that they have the best Veterans Day possible. I hope they know that their fellow veteran, Kurt Marler, is appreciative of what they've done. I could not have done my job without all my teammates. There's 230 guys in my squadron and only 8 pilots or 14 pilots. Yeah, those pilots look great, looking like Top Gun out there doing their thing. But you know what? Without every single one of us, they couldn't do their job. And they knew it, and they were appreciative of it. And it's true. I got told that I was appreciated way more in the military than I do as a civilian. I'm teaching people's kids who they can't control their kids at home. They just throw them at school, and they're like, I try to send emails to parents saying how wonderful their kids are. Their kids are a pain in the butt sometimes, and they're smarting off, and they're starting fights, and they want to argue about this, that, and the other. But you know what? I still like the kids. I tell my boss, my Principal Noel, I like this kid. Yeah, this kid may not be doing good in any of their classes, but they're doing good in my class because I let them be who they be. I let them be a human being. I don't ride herd over them. I don't stand above them and say how I'm better than them, because I'm not. I've got my weaknesses and my faults too. And let me tell you, I think if anybody really thinks about it, there's no difference from being 17 to being 50. You still think the same way you thought. You know what's fair. You know what's not fair. You know what's truth. You know what's lies. You know what needs to be done. You know when you're being lazy. You know when you're going and getting that golden ring. Know who you are and what you are. Be the best person you can be. You don't have to be in the military to be all that you can be. There is no job for that. That's being human. So, to all my veterans, I hope this day treats you wonderfully. To all the civilians, thank you for your patience in dealing with an old veteran like me. And remember, keep them happy.